Hey y'all, I'm Elizabeth Cook. You're here in Outlaw Country on SXM. This is Elizabeth Cook Apron Strings, and I'm still definitely gathering myself. But it's Monday.
There's my Raven. I love this powder snow. It's coming down good today. But I know it's the cold weather that's going to be the story as the week gets on. Even the truckers were talking about it on the radio, on road channels. Gonna get down to minus 25 by Thursday. Oh yeah. People asking me about the tornadoes the other night. Said, how often do tornadoes occur at night? And the answer is, well, tornadoes can occur whenever the right conditions are there. The right conditions aren't there usually at night, especially for strong storms. Ones that you see like in Twister that last all night long, especially in December. So definitely rare. The time of day that they like to form, if you've paid attention to thunderstorms, you know that thunderstorms like to form at 4, 5, 6, 7 o'clock in the afternoon. That's when the most heat is there to drive the convection most often. That wasn't what drove this storm so much, but clash of cold front and warm front. You look at these tornadoes that formed in the past that were big, like the Joplin or the Moore, Oklahoma one. The ones that occurred more towards Tornado Alley proper, ones that happened at a time of day you more expect. The Moore one kind of in 2013 was afternoon for sure, 5, 6, 7 o'clock. Even our little Vancouver tornado not too long ago, 6 p.m. Of course, the science community, they keep saying things like unprecedented and historic and rare for these kind of events. But more and more, they're not historic or unprecedented. This 2018, they said rare December tornado outbreak. 2019, rare December tornado outbreak. And now here you are, 2021, you got tornadoes that blow the scales off of most activity you see in Tornado Alley at the right time of year. These extreme things, it's like tornadoes happen, they always have, they've happened at night before, but it's when you start piecing together the unusual bits of evidence in these events that you start to see the fingerprints of climate change. Much like that with the BC floods. Yeah, there's been floods before, but here we have floods in many cities, washouts and road slides. This isn't your typical event. It's different than the other ones. There's something unique about it. Any time of day, any time of night now. That's what Americans can take out of last weekend. That's scary reality to wake up to. One of the things I heard people grappling with Friday and Saturday was the fact that, especially for some people who are sort of new to storm chasing and to the world of meteorology, and they're weather nerds, and this thing that you're totally excited by and turned on by, and you can't wait to chase it and find out what it's going to do or what it's done. This thing that you love so much is also a monster that kills people and destroys lives and homes. I saw people being snarky about that to each other, like, you know, it's like you're cheering the tornado on. And then other people may be projecting, like, you know, if I'm scalding other people for being excited, and I'm saying, well, people's lives are happening, well, then it can't possibly be me that's wrong for being excited. A little bit of projection maybe in some of those kinds of attacks at other people. I know from being a forest firefighter, people have said to me, it's like you're cheering for fires to happen. You want fire. And it's like, well, you want your warriors to love battle. Yeah, I mean, that's what I am. I'm a firefighter, so I get excited by fire. I train for it. I work hard for it, and I'm eager to get in there and attack it. Doesn't mean I'm not good at my job. Doesn't mean I don't want to put it out. And you want your weather nerds to love weather, even the bad stuff. And together we're trying to prevent these tragedies from happening as best we can, at least, especially those of us who are involved in the weather community in one way or another, producing shows, content, forecasts, whatever, professionals, storm chasers, storm spotters. I get excited when I'm chasing a thunderstorm that's vicious. Of course, you probably wouldn't have caught me chasing those ones in the dark that night. That's above my pay grade. I'll leave that for people like Reed Timmer. Follow Reed, he's great. R-E-E-D, Timmer. For weather junkies, that's what we are. We're extreme people, some of us, you know. We want to be where it's happening. We want to know what's going on. We want to understand everything about it. Another bone I have to pick is with, I've seen some of the corporate heads of Amazon releasing statements, our thoughts and prayers. I mean, you're in maybe not Tornado Alley, but there's a tornado warning in effect. There was lots of notice that this was happening and was going to happen. Who was it that, I'm sure somebody in those factories knew that this was happening. How those people weren't in shelters is beyond me. Pretty easy to to say thoughts and prayers when the way you work people. It's well known that Amazon's working conditions are not, I question those decisions that were made, or if decisions were made, who knew or didn't know. I'm sure that's all going to be found out. You shouldn't have to be killed by a tornado coming right through the center of your factory where you work. Shouldn't have to hit you for you to get the rest of the night off. There's these other people that went to work that night who were involved with the tornado. And I think of the rescuers. We don't often think of them as victims, but so many rescuers after a night like that will have post-traumatic stress disorder for the rest of their lives, just for going to work, trying to do the right thing, do their job. And then some of those rescuers also lost their homes, and they were there that night fighting to help people, knowing already that they'd lost everything, or that people that they loved had been killed or injured. If it hadn't been for the rescuers, how many more people would have died? So when we think of victims, we don't often think of the selfless people who we consider heroes. But then again, there's the actual victims too. People who are dead, their families around them, and friends, their communities, their work, all these networks that spiral around each person that will now have to deal with Christmas being so soon, and then people losing everything, including loved ones. So just a terrible thing, and to imagine it happening in the middle of the night the way it did, that's some of the scariest tornado images I've ever seen. Just for that fact. When it's dark, you really have no idea what's going on out there. There was a few chasers like Brendan Kopic who were out chasing, and they're very good chasers. Reed Timmer, people who know what they're doing, who are the next level of professional above myself. And then so many of those people who in the meteorological and weather community did do their part to spread the news. They saved lives with their tweets, with their posts, with their videos, with their forecasts, with them being on the ground and spotting, with them being the first ones into a situation and finding casualties. So shout out to the first responders, shout out to the weather community for everything you did to help people in this time. And then, of course, all our thoughts with all the communities and all the loss and all the victims. Man, this is where deep snow begins. Almost up to my knees at times. Getting harder to walk in it without snowshoes on, but there's too much blow down here yet, so trying to get through it on snowshoes is harder. Just gotta wait till it piles up a bit more. Wow, that's epic powder. Just love snow of this quality. My favorite. Snowing pretty good. It's only been a couple hours I've been in the bush, and 4 fingers high the snow is on the sled. 5 fingers. So that's pretty good rate of precipitation today. Lots of fresh snow to sled out on. I love snow, actually. This isn't so bad. Of course, when you have snow in behind floods, like is happening down south in British Columbia, or you have snow in behind catastrophe, like is the case in some places there where the tornadoes have been, winter weather's coming in behind, maybe it's not so nice, but definitely we're at that point now where it's getting to snowshoe time and deep snow, and with the sleds, more snow means we can go more places easily because we can just ride right over top of the logs and all that.